Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. Merry Christmas. Spider-Man, Marvel Cinematic Universe. This is going to be my video that'll explain what's going on, what it means for all the dates for all the movies that are happening in Phase 3, as well as the Sony franchise, and all the stuff that we want to see. Most important stuff, here's what's happening. Andrew Garfield is officially out as Spider-Man. They're going to cast a new Spider-Man. That person will appear in Captain America Civil War, which is being released May 6th, 2016. So we might meet that actor at Comic-Con. Hopefully they'll cast that new actor and they'll announce him during their Avengers panel. I feel like everyone's in agreement that Miles Morales would be the best choice for a new Spider-Man, especially a new Spider-Man franchise. Marvel's press release specifically mentions Peter Parker. Anything can change between now and then, but I feel like Sony wants to play it safe. They're going to reboot the Spider-Man franchise. Things change all the time. Marvel pushed the dates of 4 of their Phase 3 films in order to make room for this Spider-Man release. That Spider-Man movie, the first Spider-Man movie that Sony's going to release as part of the new franchise, will be July 28th, 2017. That was previously the day that Thor 3 was supposed to come out. So Marvel pushed the dates for Thor 3, Black Panther, Captain Marvel, and Inhumans. All that stuff just got pushed by a couple months. It's not a huge deal. In Avengers Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2, none of the dates have changed about that. There's been no mention as to whether or not Spider-Man's going to appear in those films, but I think the odds are pretty good. Okay, so thinking ahead, what does this actually mean? What is it actually going to look like with Spider-Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but also in a Sony franchise? After he appears in Captain America Civil War, he will forever be part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So Marvel, whenever they're getting ready for like a new Spider-Man Sony film, Marvel will help give them a bump, like a shout out in a movie. Sony will do the same thing for the Marvel films that Spider-Man's going to be a part of. When they do get ready to make that first new Spider-Man film, it will be a reboot, but what I'd really like to see them do is just skip the origin story, skip the Uncle Ben stuff, and save themselves 30 minutes of movie that they could just spend in the action of whatever the main story is. You guys can let me know if you agree, but I feel like this reboot is coming so soon after the last reboot that we all know the origin story. Even people who have never seen a Spider-Man movie probably understand Spider-Man's origin story. I don't feel like there's a need to tell it again. Something else I'd also like to see, a young Spider-Man. I'd really like it if Spider-Man were way younger than the other Avengers. In the context of Civil War, I feel like it's perfect. Spider-Man is taken advantage of by both sides. Captain America and Iron Man, he's pulled in both directions. He looks up to them like big brothers, so he should be much, much younger than them. They're not going to want to cast an actor that's going to age out of the role before they get a chance to make 3 films. It's just whenever they reboot franchises, they usually conceive them as trilogies. Speaking of which, they have not dumped the Sinister Six movie. Supposedly, Sony is still developing a Sinister Six movie with Drew Goddard. And as awesome as all this news is, it's actually bad news for Avi Arad. He is mentioned nowhere in this Marvel press release. I think that actually probably makes most of the fans happy. Of all the people associated with Spider-Man, the actors, the people behind the scenes, almost no one has been complained about more than Avi Arad. If you ever wondered, he is the holdup on a Miles Morales Spider-Man. He used to control the character and said that Spider-Man will never be anyone but Peter Parker. So if you want to get upset about Miles Morales not being Spider-Man, blame Avi Arad. Now that it sounds like he's out and Amy Pascal is in, she's going to be the one to co-produce the films with Kevin Feige and Marvel. They can still weave him into that universe so that eventually he could become Spider-Man. So his chances are dramatically rising. If you want to learn more about Captain America Civil War, it's not going to be exactly like it was in the comics. It'll be a little bit different, although they do have Spider-Man now. I've already made a whole bunch of videos about it, so I'll add some links in the description. But I think the most recent big development is that Daniel Brühl was pretty much confirmed as Baron Zemo. What else do we want to see in this new Spider-Man rebooted franchise? I think J.K. Simmons should come back as J. Jonah Jameson. Nobody can touch that performance. He's amazing. Maybe like a Flash Thompson Venom. I feel like that'd be awesome. And he could also end up crossing over with the Avengers or Guardians of the Galaxy at some point. He's actually in the comics. He actually did cross over with Guardians of the Galaxy recently. Sally Fields was an amazing Aunt May. I'd like to see her come back. Norman Osborn as Green Goblin. I don't know about Dane DeHaan. Dane DeHaan's an amazing actor, but definitely the Norman Osborn character. Mary Jane Watson, I would totally love to see her back. I was kind of bummed when Shailene Woodley got cut out of Amazing Spider-Man 2. She was actually supposed to be in that movie. They filmed scenes, but just decided the movie got too bloated. And yeah, I would like to see an Avenger cameo in that first Spider-Man film. If Marvel and Sony are going to try and promote each other's films, then I feel like if Spider-Man's going to be in an Avengers film or a Captain America film, then one of those Avengers should be in the Spider-Man film. At least a little bit, just a brief cameo. The other really big news is that Angelina Jolie is being courted for the Captain Marvel film just because Marvel wants to get a strong female director on its roster. that doesn't mean that she would be cast as Captain Marvel. I don't want her to see that happen. As much as I love Angelina Jolie, I think she's a great director. I think she'll have a really interesting take on the character. I want them to cast someone that's a little bit younger so that they can be in like 6 or 7 Marvel films without aging out of the role. Robert Downey Jr. is like the one exception to that. Robert Downey Jr. has already said that he's going to ride that role into the ground, or at least he's going to play Tony Stark till people stop paying to go see Marvel films, which means he's never going to leave. The other Avengers, not so much. I expect at least one of them to be recast after Avengers Infinity War Part 2. That's not till like May 2019, so don't worry, that's a long way off. All the actors that we have now will pretty much be the same for the rest of Phase 3. So now I know you're all saying, so what about Fox, X-Men, Marvel crossovers now? That's like a long ways off. So we don't know about Fantastic Four, X-Men. That's all still going to be completely independent from the Marvel stuff. If Joss Whedon is going to stop directing Marvel films, I would like to see him direct an X-Men film at some time. He had an amazing run on Astonishing X-Men. I feel like he could do something really amazing with the Kitty Pryde character. I'd really like to see a Kitty Pryde X-Men film just by herself. It's just that Joss Whedon said he wants to direct a female superhero film. Most of the best female characters that Marvel has are controlled by other studios, namely Fox with all the X-Men characters. So if Joss Whedon's going to direct a female Marvel film, and it's not going to be Captain Marvel, it's probably going to have to be an X-Men film. I feel like Fox would be totally jazzed up at the idea of working with Joss Whedon again. I almost forgot to mention it too. It would be really awesome now that Sony and Marvel are sharing Spider-Man if we could see like Spider-Man stuff happening in the TV series, like Daily Bugle stuff on Daredevil. Really, I feel like everyone wants Logan Lerman to be the new Spider-Man. I'd be totally cool with that. I feel like he could totally pull it off. It's just going to be a minor role in Captain America, so he can get his feet wet there, get used to the character, and then they can kind of decide where they want to take it when they get to the first Sony film. Be sure to write in the comments, who do you want to see as this new Spider-Man, and what do you want them to include in the new franchise? So in related news, because this is such a big deal, I'm totally going to do a Q&A for this at least by Thursday. I'm a little backed up with videos. I have something special that's happening later today, so I won't be able to post my Flash video till late tonight, and then I'll post Gotham after that. So while you continue to freak out about Spider-Man and wait for the rest of those videos, you can click here to learn more about Avengers Age of Ultron, and you can click here for my top 5 Ultron stories from the comics. Thank you so much for watching, so let's all high five, and remember, you deserve the good things that happen to you.